Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sordward and Shielbert's Spectacular Podcast, episode 13. And we wrapped up the season this past weekend, season 2, Dunsky. We're going to go all over the playoffs in this podcast, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm joined this week by Josh, head coach of the Waco Scizors, Matt, head coach of the Minnesota Nidokings, and first time on the podcast, little baby in her arms, head coach of Denver Ninetales, Katie.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. And the future reigning champ right there. So, did we lose Matt? No, he's back. All right, he just wanted to switch to that other corner. Anyway, so we had the playoffs. Let me bring something up here. All right, so we had the playoff spoilers. You can see exactly how they broke down here, but we'll kind of go through them. So we had Tuscaloosa against Mighty Scizors, Minnesota against Worcester, Denver against LA, and Seattle against Boston. We'll go over the one game that doesn't have a coach here, which was Tuscaloosa and Mighty Scizors, the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. Tuscaloosa won relatively handily, but I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like Tuscaloosa was showing some chinks in the armor, so to say, even in this game. Again, ignore the rest of this bracket for now. Matt, going down to your battle, unfortunately, you didn't get the battle.
Sadly.
Yeah, you got a forfeit win because Juan, head coach of Worcester Delibirds, spilled beer all over his Switch and couldn't play. So, how'd you feel getting that win?
Well, I knew this so I can battle a lot, so I'm like, okay, I'll give them every chance to fight, and if I can't, well, that just sucks.
Yeah, we waited pretty long, which is why we didn't have a podcast last week, because we waited till like Wednesday to see if his Switch would come back to life, but it did not, unfortunately. Then we had Denver versus LA, and Katie, you might be able to speak more to this, but you brought Wheezing only 2 games, both versus LA, and it was the MVP that week the first time you brought it, and then it refused to die once again for those who didn't see the video. Do you have anything you wanted to say about Wheezing or about your match?
It just seems too perfect not to bring him, honestly. It's the perfect matchup against his team. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it smoked him both times, but
Yeah, well, that's good. It's good to see a uncommon Pokemon such as Wheezing really get time to shine against a solid team such as the LA Kinglers. Then the last match of the first round was your Boston Braviaries versus the Seattle Shiny Sylveons, and Boston Braviaries defeated Seattle. I forget how many Pokemon I had left. I think it was like 3 or 4, but pretty solid win. We beat them earlier in the season, so that was good and make it on to the next round. All right. The Elite Four was set. We had Tuscaloosa versus Minnesota Nidokings. Matt, why don't you tell me a bit about this match? It was definitely a nail biter, it seemed.
It started off on my favor, then it quickly went to his, then it went downhill.
Yeah, so you had a good lead against him. So he typically leads Colossal Weavile. What was your lead?
A very common Excel Gornditi.
I really liked you in this matchup just because I thought Indeedee really put pressure on what he likes to do in the early turns with fake out and
That's the whole entire reason why I use it.
Yeah, it's really the only thing that shuts down fake out, which I learned because apparently quick guard has the same priority as fake out, which is dumb. It's supposed to be quick guard. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Unfortunately, Matt lost in that round, but great job, Matt, making it to the Elite Four with your unethical team.
I still don't understand the unethical part.
I chose the wrong word. I meant to say unconventional, but I typed unethical, and then I just rolled with it because I was like, whatever.
Because we're unethical, that'd be you.
Yeah. Well, the way I won was pretty unethical, but
Maybe it's unethical for the legal loophole of using double NDD, even though it's the same species.
Oh yeah, I only did that
but after
once.
that one match, he never used it again. So he like saw his immoral ways, but he made sure never to drop male NDD so anyone else.
Oh yeah, because that's such a good
I would
thing
have
to
taken
have.
that in a heartbeat if it was.
That's why.
All right, then we move on to Denver Ninetales and Boston Braviaries, a rematch of last season's Elite Four. As we see here, Boston won. But Katie, anything that you wanted to say about your side of the match? Again, there's a video for that. Those who haven't watched.
Just that I probably made a few pretty rookie mistakes when it came to going up against your Butterfree. So just a few notes for myself for the next time I go against a Pokemon like that.
Yeah, but Butterfree, if you don't have a way to either fake it out or outspeed it, it just keeps things to sleep, which is nice. All right, so that set us up for the final showdown. Tuscaloosa, the #1 team, 7-1 all season against the Boston Braviaries. And all I want to say is that there's like a symmetry here in this league from season 1 to season 2. Season 1, again, I played against Denver in the Elite Four. Then I had to go up against the 7-1 #1 seed in the finals. Best of 3 match. And for those who haven't seen it, it's pretty crazy. He got me game 1 because, again, I didn't realize Quick Guard ain't so quick. That kind of screwed me over because kind of just like gave up that first turn. Game 2, I came back with a different strat, and I was able to punish him with a Shell Smash Blastoise using a Scarf Liepard so I could fake out his fake out, which was key. And then game 3, there's 2 ways to play this game. Two ways to play any game, any sport. When you go into any match, there's always an alpha dog and an underdog. Obviously, Tuscaloosa, 7-1, hands down #1 team all season, alpha dog, which by retrospect makes me the underdog. There's 2 ways to play any game. You either play to win or you play not to lose. When you're the alpha dog, you most likely have to play not to lose because there's less ways for you to lose than you are to win, right? You have that advantage. By vice versa, when you're the underdog, i.e. what I was, you have to play to win because there's so many ways you can lose. You have to find the one way to win or, a couple ways to win. And the only way I saw I was going to beat him was by confusion luck. And luck was on my side. Got the turn 1 max smite, confused both his guys. Weavile hits and kills itself. Colossal hits itself twice. That was game. Katie was there because we played in person, Tuscaloosa and myself. We all played in person. I was in another room as not to see what he was doing because he was playing on the TV, he was recording. I'm screaming across the house, don't make me do it. I don't want to do it.
These are all facts. He was screaming.
This is just, I can't, I don't, I'm just speechless, honestly. There's some sort of poetry in the universe. Symmetry to end like this once again. So Jack, if you're watching this, head coach of Tuscaloosa, I'm still waiting for that championship handshake. Maybe I'll see you in a couple weeks, or you'll be on the podcast next week, so maybe you'll give me a virtual handshake. So, yep. So, guys, the 2-time back-to-back. I didn't want to do it. Don't make me do it. I'm just speechless over it all. But moving on, I want to shift our attention to Josh, head coach of Waco Scizors. Josh, you were the de facto number 2 seed at the end of the season. I think you were only behind Tuscaloosa by points. I can't remember if you lost 2 games or if you only had 1 loss all season. I think you only had 1 loss all season. Oh, you did have 2? Okay. But still, you were the de facto number 2 seed. And you, for work reasons, had to sit out the playoffs, decided to sit out the playoffs, which gave me the Boston Brave Aries the 2 seed for that. But looking at this bracket and how it shaked out, do you wish you had been able to keep that number 2 seed and play it out?
I think I could have made it.
I think you could have made it, yeah. Does that light a fire under your loins?
No. No, not really. Yeah, I think I could have made it, but I didn't. So there we go. My 2 losses made it to the Final 4, so there's that. But who knows? It would have been a little different, I guess.
True. Yeah, would have been interesting, to say the least. But
I think I had the best. I think I had some of the best Pokemon on my team, I have to say. So.
Oh yeah, between X-Drill and G-Max Toxtricity, got a lot of MVP votes there, so did very well. Rillaboom, probably a steal as an A tier, to be honest, but awesome. So, yep, so that's the playoffs, guys. Season 2, Dunsky. We're already looking towards Season 3. We got a lot of stuff going on there. Again, just kind of like, I don't know. I'm just speechless. I wanted Jack to win. The head coach of Tuscaloosa, this was his season. He deserved to win, and I hate for him to lose based on confusion. But like I said, you gotta play to win, and if the way I'm gonna win is to get a 30% confusion hit 3 turns in a row, then god damn it, that's just what I gotta do. All right, so let's take a look at some quick little questions here, since I forgot to do them last podcast as well. Oh, also, while we're going over this, we had a giveaway on our last podcast for Zarude and Shiny Celebi codes. I want to congratulate Ali, head coach of the My Psyducks, for winning the Zarude code, and for Katie, head coach of Denver Ninetales, for winning the Shiny Celebi code. Good job. And Jack, head coach of Tuscaloosa, for getting 2nd place. He got both a Zarude code and a Shiny Celebi code. So congrats to him, and he told me that those codes did work, so I ain't fudging it. And maybe now that so many people, because I know a couple other coaches got Zarude codes from other ways, maybe we'll actually have Zarude in next season, which could be fun. All right, so a couple questions here. How do coaches feel about switching to singles next season? Do you have a preference? I mean, I'll just start off with this one. I like swapping formats because, like this question implies, some people have preferences, and therefore it allows everybody to get a turn to play what they want to play and try different formats. And obviously, different Pokemon are better in singles and doubles, so that you get to play with different Pokemon, etc. So I'm excited to go back to singles, and then the season after, I'll be excited to go back to doubles because they're both great formats. As long as we never play triples, we'll all have a good time. Matt, how do you feel about going back to singles next season?
I prefer singles. So my favorite Pokemon like Darmanitan and Haxorus, blah blah, are a lot better in singles. And I hate fake outs, so makes life a lot better for me.
There you go. Well, just remember to pick in DD when we go back to doubles in season 4, and you won't have to worry about fake out again.
I might just do that.
You'll have to. What about you, Katie? How do you feel about going back to doubles or singles?
I'm excited to go back to singles. Doubles I found challenging for me. There's several moves like Ally Switch that were just so obnoxious that I'm just very excited to get back to singles now. Good breath of fresh air.
Yeah, a lot more straightforward. Ally Switch, Fake Out, Follow Me, all of these moves are not in like protect spamming. All these moves are, I wouldn't say increase the skill gap, but they definitely increase the frustration gap. Gosh, I know you'll be sitting out next season due to work commitments, and while I'm on that subject, I want to thank all the teachers, all the healthcare workers, all the retail workers, everybody there on the front lines during this crisis, who keep showing up for work, who keep doing a great job. And Josh, you're one of those as an educator, so I want to take this moment to thank you for your service to the youth, to the future. But yeah, how do you feel about the society going back to singles next season as a observer?
I hate it. I think singles is horribly boring. Doubles is a lot more fun because it's more complex. All singles is whoever gets the bigger Pokemon out first and can start sweeping. Doubles has way more strategy.
Or
Way
who's
better.
more unkillable.
Wait, what was that, Matt?
Or who's more unkillable.
Right, but I mean, I disagree that there's no strategy in singles. You go watch competitive singles players, and some of their matches will go for 30, 40 minutes because there's so much strategy. It's all about positioning in singles, while doubles is just like, oh, you sent these two out, I sent these two out. Well, I guess we slam into them. So I think doubles is a lot more polarizing than singles. But that's coming from someone who does well in both. So. All right, next question. With the new Pokemon available, i.e. the ones that we got from the Isle of Armor DLC that will be available in next season, who are you most excited to see in action for these new Pokemon?
Scizor. Scizor. Scizor.
Scizor? Scizor is pretty cool. He is pretty cool. Although Scyther gives him a run for the money now with Technician Double Wing Beat having Stab. So kind of a tough choice. It's not as simple as before. Matt, how about you? Any new Pokemon from the DLC that you're looking to add to a team or new?
Wasn't Tentacruel added in the new DLC? Yeah, that's one of my personal favorites. Very underrated Pokemon, but I also really like Urshifu because just look at it.
Yeah, that guy Josh doesn't like because he's a sweeper. You get him in and he kills things. But Josh doesn't like killing things in Pokemon apparently. You know, he wants every game to go to time. Everyone has 6 Pokemon remaining.
No, I don't kill Pokemon. I knock them out.
It's murder, Josh. It's murder. Katie, how about you? Any Pokemon you're excited to try out from the DLC?
One in particular, but I mean, I am excited that Kingler is now G-Max. I think his G-Max form looks really cool, but I know he's not all that competitive, but he looks cool, so.
But Kingler has the G-Max since the very first game.
I think.
Yeah.
The
like
new
one of the
G-Max that they
first.
added were the starters. Blastoise, Venusaur, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Inteleon, and the Urshifus.
Yeah.
Definitely G-Max Venusaur I'm excited about.
Yeah, He looks like a reggae guy. He's got some weeds in those vines, if you know what I mean. All right. One last announcement before we close this out. Pretty quick podcast, just going over the playoffs. We'll have a lot more coming up as we ramp up for Season 3 in the coming weeks. But we'll be working on an all-star game that's going to take some of the best Pokemon from each of the 16 teams from Season 2 and have them pair off in a 3v3. So I'm hoping to get that up probably some point this week. Again, Juan, head coach of Worcester, was supposed to be helping with that, but he's had technical issues with his Switch, so hopefully we'll be able to get that to you guys, because I think that'll be a lot of fun getting to see all these different Pokemon that did so well throughout the season work together and represent all their teams. Yeah, so guys, any last words about Season 2? Matt, last words about Season 2?
Why did it have to be you again? Jack had one job.
He had one job. Hey, just keep reminding him that all next season he had one job. Hashtag no competition. Hashtag meet the competition. Katie, any last words about Season 2?
I second that Jack only had one job. He should have been a shoo-in. He should have swept you. I don't know what he did. He dropped the ball.
I got that second game, and that's all I wanted. But the confusion gods. Josh, any last words for Season 2?
I third that Jack only had one job, and that Jack must redeem himself in Season 3.
That's right. That's right.
Now he's not going to make playoffs.
What's that?
Now he's not going to make playoffs.
No, Jack's good. I think Jack's better at singles than he is doubles, which is a scary proposition. Guys, final words on Season 2. This is Labdog, head coach, Boston Braviaries, your commissioner, and still your reigning champion. We'll see you guys next season. Keep battling, folks.